Hi everyone, welcome back to the Scent Advocate. Today I'm filming in my dressing room, and you can see I've got some of my fragrances behind me, but don't be impressed, it's not a real dressing room. When we bought this house here in New York after we left Utah, we ended up putting the master bedroom in one of the guest bedrooms, and it's really small. So the plan is to expand that, and the adjoining room, or the adjacent room, I should say, is the room I'm currently using as my dressing room. And I have my fragrances in here, but eventually we'll knock down the wall between the two rooms and make the master bedroom a little bit bigger. Right now it's just a really small guest bedroom, and so is this. But I digress. I moved, as I've mentioned before, and during the move, which took quite a bit of time, it's a cross-country move and it was sort of iterative, I didn't end up buying any fragrances, so I had a chance to test a lot during that period. Fragrance testers that I'd bought just before the move and immediately following, but nothing big. And I recently, I don't want to use the H word, but I will say I bought several bottles. And I thought, why not talk about them now? I was in the mood. Maybe you are too. So let's check them out. These, by the way, are not in any special order. They don't follow any theme of any kind. These were just fragrances that I had been testing and really wanted, and finally pulled the trigger on a few. So the first I'll talk about is Elop by Soradora. This fragrance, the bottle took me by surprise, because when I saw it online, it struck me as a square frosted glass bottle with a much more narrow kind of inward and upward sloping top. And I think it was just the optical illusion from the background, which was completely white. And this top it's plastic, but it's a very hard plastic designed to look like marble. So it kind of threw me off. And so if you were thinking the same thing when you saw online the Elop bottle, just know that it actually looks like this, which I think is great. It's a very heavy frosted glass bottle. Very nice, very neutral. Goes with everything. If you've got like an aesthetic for your perfume bottles, I think this is probably among the safer ones. Certainly it's a personal choice. Anyway, this is 50 ml, and it is, I believe, eau de parfum. Let's see. I believe it is. No, it is just a parfum. Wow, I shouldn't say that. Parfum is stronger than eau de parfum. So this fragrance really appealed to me. It is a floral. It is what I would call a yellow floral. And those of you who've been following me, know that I'm really not into florals as a rule. There are a couple of exceptions. So iris, and of course orris, which is the root of the iris plant or flower, and violet. Beyond that, I like ylang ylang a little bit more, and that's what this is. At least that's how it strikes me. Now, I don't have the notes in front of me, but this is a heady yellow floral with a vanilla, tonka, slight boozy quality to it. It is a spring to summer fragrance, but it's heavy, as yellow florals usually present to me. Something of a waxy, thick, rich fragrance, but characteristic of something summery, right? It smells yellow. So kind of like Ylang in Gold does. If you like that fragrance, you will probably like Elop. As I've said in the past when I've compared fragrances, there is by no means an accusation of one being the dupe of another, not at all, but they have a similar scent profile. Very beautiful. And let's stop there. I don't want to use the H word, but I will say I bought several bottles. And I thought, why not talk about them now? I was in the mood. Maybe you are too. So let's check them out. I just want to say before I get into the fragrances that I am very much relaxed at this point in the day. It happens to be evening, and although I have on what may appear to be a nicer sweater, maybe it's nice, maybe you hate it. It's comfortable. That's a point. Like many instances when people are on video of any kind, the surprise is below the waist. Oh yes, I'm wearing pajama bottoms. So when I get up from time to time in this video, if I don't edit it out and you see completely mismatched flannel pajama bottoms that belong to my husband, you've been warned. These, by the way, are not in any special order. They don't follow any theme of any kind. These were just fragrances that I had been testing and really wanted and finally pulled the trigger on a few. So the first I'll talk about is Elop by Soradora. This fragrance, the bottle took me by surprise because when I saw it online, it struck me as a square frosted glass bottle with a much more narrow kind of inward and upward sloping top. And I think it was just the optical illusion from the background, which was completely white. And this top it's plastic, but it's a very hard plastic designed to look like marble. So it kind of threw me off. And so if you were thinking the same thing when you saw online the Elop bottle, just know that it actually looks like this, which I think is great. You know, it's a very heavy frosted glass bottle. Very nice, very neutral. Goes with everything. If you've got like an aesthetic for your perfume bottles, I think this is probably among the safer ones. Certainly it's a personal choice. Anyway. This is 50 ml and it is, I believe, eau de parfum. Let's see. I believe it is. No, it is just a parfum. Wow, I shouldn't say that. Parfum is stronger than eau de parfum. So this fragrance really appealed to me. It is a floral. It is what I would call a yellow floral. And those of you who've been following me, know that I'm really not into florals as a rule. There are a couple of exceptions. So iris and of course orris, which is the root of the iris plant or flower, and violet. Beyond that, I like ylang ylang a little bit more, and that's what this is. At least that's how it strikes me. Now, I don't have the notes in front of me, but this is a heady yellow floral with a vanilla, tonka, slight boozy quality to it. It is a spring to summer fragrance, but it's heavy, as yellow florals usually present to me. Something of a waxy, thick, rich fragrance, but characteristic of something summery, right? It smells yellow. So kind of like Ylang in Gold does. If you like that fragrance, you will probably like Elop. As I've said in the past when I've compared fragrances, there is by no means an accusation of one being the dupe of another, not at all, but they have a similar scent profile. I grabbed my Ylang in Gold bottle. This one is an eau de parfum, 100 ml. My guess is if you like this, you will find this more mild, but they're both those kind of heady but wonderful, rich yellow florals. And by the way, M. Micallef came out with another version of Ylang in Gold. I think it's an extrade. It's a stronger version. This is the original. So comparing the two, they're even more different now that I do a side by side. But those themes, the thickness, the richness, the pretty, slightly vanillic floral that has a tropical accord to it, but it's not fruity. It's not sweet. It's just, I think, unique among florals. So check out Soradora, Elop, and not that I ever recommend blind buying, but if you like M. Mikalev, Ylang in Gold, you will probably find this likable. No promises. So check them out. Moving on to the next bottle that I purchased after significant testing. Musc Maori by Pierre Guillemette, Paris. This fragrance is very, very special. I started out with a sample from Scent Split. Loved it. You hear me say that a lot. And then I got another sample from Scent Split, much larger size. I think it was like a 9 ml, and used that up and moved on to a full bottle. This is a cocoa, rice, and musk, but it's like a very mild musk. This isn't an animalic presentation of musk. It's a gourmand musk. The gourmand is that cooked rice. It makes me think of Southeast Asian tropical desserts. But when I say tropical, it is because of the very sophisticated cocoa blending with the warm, creamy cooked rice. If you like Stranger's Parfumerie, A La Folie, or Sweet Farewell, or Sweet Celestials, you will probably find Musc Maori to be amazing. Now, again, not a dupe situation at all. You may also want to check out Chocody if you like that really rice heavy, comforting, although Chocody has something of a stronger floral note than the others do. It's a very sharp green and floral going on in the background with cooked rice. If I had to liken Musc Maori to any of the Stranger's Parfumeries, it would probably be A La Folie is the most similar, but a truly beautiful, comforting, thick, wonderful, wonderful musk. Check it out. I mentioned before Chocody. That is a newer addition to my collection. I sat on this one for a while. This, of course, is a 30 ml eau de parfum from Stranger's Parfumerie, which I absolutely love. I have several rice fragrances, and I've shown you before, but I'll show you again. A La Folie, Sweet Farewell, and the most rice prominent fragrance in this house, in my opinion, Sweet Celestials, which, by the way, is exquisite if you're looking for a comforting, beautiful, light. I mean, it's strong, but it is light in its expression, the levity of the notes. The thickness of the cooked rice is offset by a beautiful green pandan leaf, which just lifts it up. Absolutely stunning. And I had heard that Chocody was the most rice-forward fragrance from this house. So I tried it and I liked it a lot. But in my opinion, it is Sweet Farewell that is more rice-like than Chocody. Chocody, as I said before, has a floral note, a sharp green leaf of some kind and a floral note, a cut plant of some kind. And again, tonight I don't have notes in front of me, so I'm just giving you what I take away from this. On my skin, the floral comes out, which in this case, for some reason, is not bad. Usually florals bother me, except for a few that I've already talked about in this video, so I won't do it again, but it's very feminine leaning. It's something that I would wear on a hot summer night. This blooms on the skin, and I imagine only gets better with a little bit of perspiration or sea spray. It's fresh, it's clean, universally likable, chocody. I just don't see how you could go wrong with this fragrance. Another masterpiece out of Stranger's Parfumerie. Another fragrance from Pierre Guillemets Paris, Swim SX. This is also 50 ml. This one I tested much earlier in the year in the hotter weather, and it just immediately resonated with me. I was in the mood for your skin but better, aquatic, something wearable in any setting, and this absolutely hit the mark. This smells like blue sky and clear water. Mountain air comes to mind. Very fresh. There may be a little bit of a blue, kind of classic 90s Cologne note in there, but it's very faint in my opinion. It's like breathing in cool mountain air with a fresh, crisp stream babbling in the background. It is very discreet. It's got a projection that is intimate. It is universally likable. This is definitely unisex. I think you could wear this any time of year because of the cold water and cold air accord. Otherwise, I would say definitely stick to the warm weather, but that's what attracted me to this particular airy aquatic fragrance and what made me buy it now as opposed to waiting for the warmer weather. And I wear it now. I love it. If you like, what the hell, I'm just gonna edit this out. Okay. If you like Silver Mountain Water by Creed, you will probably like Swim. The Creed fragrance is stronger. It's got more floral, but the Swim is a much lighter expression, and they're not dupes, no way. I think the theme I'm sort of catching myself in with this video is if you're inclined to make a blind buy, what kind of scent genre are these recent purchases in for me? What do they remind me of a little bit? And if you were inclined to make a blind buy, which I do not recommend, if you like Creed Silver Mountain Water and you were willing to go with something far less pungent, you should consider Swim by Pierre Guillemets. The next fragrance is Acqua di Scandola by Parfum d'Empire. This is a 50 ml eau de parfum. Same story, friends. I tested this and I fell in love. This fragrance is it is a salty, citrus, oceanic fragrance. Ever so slight ambergris in the background, no cologne. This is not fresh water. The salt is right up front. There could be there could be a seaweed note in here, but it's very subtle, very subtle. It just gives ever so slight character to the lemon, a very tart lemon, by the way. This is not a Meyer lemon. This is a summer fragrance, completely unisex, but I would feel comfortable wearing this any time of day. I would feel comfortable sweating in this. I would feel comfortable going out to dinner in this. This is the kind of fragrance when you wear it, you want to lick your own skin. How twisted is that, right? I don't know. Haven't done that in a while, have you? What does this remind me of? If you are inclined to blind buy it. The first one that comes to mind is Sal y Pepe by Hildy Soliani. This fragrance, Salt and Pepper, is a bit more feminine. The pepper comes across as a little bit floral. The salt is there. The citrus is muted. It's a little less aquatic. The salt isn't necessarily an oceanic salt. It would be maybe from a salt mine, but same fragrance genre. If you like this, you'll probably like this. But they are different enough, in my opinion, to justify having both. The Sally Pepe is like the Acqua di Scandala. It's a unisex fragrance. You could probably wear this any time of year. They're both pretty strong, by the way. Don't take for granted that because they are salty aquatics or oceanics that they're quiet. They're not. Another fragrance in that fragrance family would be Celle de la Tiere, number 7 by Thomas Kosmala. This is an EDP 100 ml. Love this stuff. And they each bring something different to my life. This is floral in a different direction. This may have a little jasmine, and the lemon is less sharp. Oh, it's so beautiful. This is more of a spring fragrance. Okay, this I would wear this anytime. This leans a little bit more feminine, but it's definitely unisex. Totally fair game for anybody. But slightly feminine slant. I find I overspray this, and later in the day, I'm noticing, wow, that's strong. But for some reason at first, it doesn't present as really strong to me. So be careful with this one. It packs a punch, but the punch is delayed. A couple more I want to talk about in the same fragrance sort of family is Atlanta by Sarah Baker. Now, I'm probably mispronouncing this, but this, by the way, is a 5 ml tester that I got from Scent Split because I had the 1 ml and just loved it so much. I am graduating to larger and larger testers, and I'll probably just go straight for the full bottle at this point. I really love it. This has something different, but it's in the same fragrance family. It's a salty aquatic. The salt is there, the citrus is there, but there's something else. It feels like a stronger ambergris in this that may present as a tide pool. Okay, so you're at the ocean and you're in a tide pool and there are little marine creatures in there kind of goofing around doing their marine creature thing, and there's a smell and it's beautiful, but it's got a little something. It's not funk because it's beautiful. There's no funk here. It's not fishy, no way. But it's got something else. And I think that in a nutshell, it's ambergris. I think that is just expressed in a more forward way in Atlanta. I'm probably mispronouncing it. Don't kill me, Sarah Baker, but I love your perfume. The last one I want to talk about in this fragrance family is Oceana by Roja Dove. This is a 2 ml from Scent Split. This is the farthest away from this that I have, but again, there's a theme. There's citrus, there's salt, there's moving water. This is probably more sheep leaning, so of course I love it. But it's in that same world. So when it comes to Acqua di Scandala, if you like any of those fragrances, you might find this to be really enjoyable. I do. Just want to say again that these are all highly, highly distinguishable. None are dupes. Check out Acqua di Scandala check out Aqua di Scandala. Not Scambola. What did I say? Scambola. What the hell? Aqua di Scandala by Parfums d'Empire. Last, but definitely not least, is Je ne sais quoi by Théo Cabinel. This is an eau de parfum. It is 100 ml, and it is nothing short of completely addictive. I oversprayed this the other day at work, and I almost embarrassed myself because I knew I was just projecting and I was just piling it on and on and on. But I couldn't help myself because I just wanted more, like I couldn't get enough. Is that twisted or what? Je ne sais quoi is a green rice fragrance. I know. I already talked about rice. I'm going to talk again about rice. If you got a tulip and you broke its stem, you picked it, or a daffodil and you picked it, and you had a beautiful, fully bloomed Easter lily and cooked rice all at once, that is this fragrance. It is so beautiful. I've smelled bamboo fragrances that have a similar green note, but I never thought of that as bamboo. But I've seen it enough to say, if you know that note, and say, I think it was Demeter, but these were fragrances that I've tried over the years that were just bamboo, and they have a similar green note, and it is combined with that Easter lily, that beautiful, sweet, syrupy center of an Easter lily, and perfectly cooked white rice just comforting you. That is this fragrance, and it is completely captivating. Now, I talked about rice fragrances earlier. And in keeping with the theme that's sort of developed ad hoc as I do this video, I am compelled to mention other rice fragrances that I have, that if you like these, you will probably love Je ne sais quoi. The first that I'd like to mention, obviously White Rice by Denam. This is a 50 ml EDP, a very beautiful cooked rice fragrance. This is a little bit more floral, completely different expression, less green, but a comforting, uplifting, cool rice note. This rice isn't fully cooked either. It may be fresh rice, like freshly harvested rice. It's definitely rice, but it's a unique expression of it. If you like Taipei by One Day, I think this is also a 50 ml eau de parfum. This is no joke rice. Like, this is straight up cooked rice. Nutty, warm, perfectly cooked, glutinous rice. It's somewhat linear, but it is so good. It's so incredible. You just want to roll around in it. You just want to be completely encapsulated by it. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Obviously, I love rice. So if these fragrances appeal to you, you will probably love Je ne sais quoi, because Je ne sais quoi has the similar profile with a bit more of a slightly fragrant green. Well, that's it for tonight. So if you like the video, and I really hope you do, please give it a like. And if you're not yet a subscriber, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to grow the channel. No matter what, please feel free to leave me some comments if there are aquatic, salty aquatic fragrances that you think fit in these fragrance families that or fragrance family that I didn't mention. Let me know. And that goes for the rice, the yellow florals too. Let me know what you think. Is there something out there that, you know, I might like to try myself? Let me know in the comments, and thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.